Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Don't forget to tap all the buttons down below. And today's review is Skyrim for Nintendo Switch. The big question that this game probably does have, specifically the port on Switch, is should you get it on Switch or PS4? Now, that's a really hard debate to explain because it really comes down to opinion if you really care about specifically how it looks, or you just want the full package on the PS4. Then of course you're going to go toward PS4, but Switch really does have something to bring new to the table, and it's very unique, and I personally enjoy it more. I can find myself sometimes on these big games, like I want to play them, kind of, on like consoles, but I just never really have the motivation to go on and play it, so I just play some multiplayer game or something. And I just think, even though, sure, you're going from a $20 price from PS4 to a $54.99 or $60 price on Switch, but if you're never gonna touch the game, it doesn't matter, right? Because it doesn't matter if you're gonna buy it on PS4 and never play it except for like 10 minutes that you go on the first time you buy it, and then it goes to the back of your library. It's irrelevant if you buy it or not. But if you're really gonna play it, if you get it on Switch, then I think it is worth $60 in general. It's one of the biggest games ever made. It's definitely one of the best open world games, if I think not the best. In my personal opinion, it isn't, but it definitely is something special. And at the time when it came out first on PS3, it was probably one of the best games that came out that year. And it definitely still brings something special even to now on Switch. It's specifically something that's cool on this one is that you can take off the Joy-Cons of the Switch, and you can use the sword, or you can use the bow and arrow, and it just adds something unique to it. And I think it's something that could really get the sales on this game on Switch really going. Now, I think they already got really great sales. They didn't plummet. They didn't lose from putting this on Switch, because mostly people that played it on PS4, they wanted to play it again, or PS3 mostly. They wanted to play it again, but they didn't want to get it on PS4 because all it is just the same game they played on PS3, but with a couple of mods and a couple new features, but isn't worth it to really get it on two consoles. But I think people who played it on PS3 really look at the one on Switch as something new, or something that could bring the enjoyment of the game back without having to get the exact same thing. I think that's why they got a lot of sales on this game, and I think it's reasonable, honestly. People who are really on a tough budget, most of the games on Switch, I just wouldn't even get a Switch if you're on a tough budget, because every game, because they're either a big third-party game or they're some first-party game that is only on their system and they're not going to sell it for cheap, it's always $60. So this is definitely not a budget system. So I think that could stand for Skyrim as well. And even though it is $20 on PS4, it's still, if you love the system or you only have a Switch, then $60 is $60, and that's what you have to pay to get the game. Is it worth it in general? I would definitely say so. Now, even though it just comes from a simplified quest to quest going around all of Skyrim, it still has, just the campaign itself, about 35 hours of gameplay, and it has something like 100. I'm not completely sure, so don't quote me on it, but you know, it's around 100 hours, I think. And with The Witcher also being on the Switch and kind of an enemy to this game, especially on sales, because The Witcher 3 is a new game. It's very similar to Skyrim, but it just doesn't bring the same thing that Skyrim does to the table, because it's just a amazing world. Even though I'm not saying Witcher 3 doesn't have an amazing world, they're both unique, amazing, intriguing games, but it doesn't stop the fact that Skyrim will never be able to be copied, no matter what you do. It's a unique game, it's its own thing, and no matter how much people try to copy it and get the same uniqueness out of it, they just won't. And that's what really makes this game not only be like worth it to buy, but to buy even again on Switch. Now, me being able to play it for the first time on Switch is amazing. It would have even been more cool if I got to play it on PS3, but I never got a chance to get the PS3 when it came out. But I'm definitely happy with my purchase on this game. One of the best games on Switch for sure, and how big of a game it is considering, I think $60 of a price is actually completely fine. Now, if you aren't interested in this game at all, well, of course, I wouldn't buy it on Switch, because if you're not interested at all to get it on PS4 or to get it on PS3 when you had one, it just doesn't make any sense to get it on Switch now. But if you did like it, you played it, I would definitely recommend to get it again on Switch if you do have a Switch, or if you never played it, definitely recommend it as well, because it's an amazing game and you're really missed out if you haven't played it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning back in. Don't forget to comment down below if you played this game, if you liked it, why you did and why you didn't. And I'll see you next time on Let's Review It.